Hey everybody, Michelle, it seems like quilting here. So we have had a few panels come in the last couple of months, and we don't carry a whole lot of panels. Part of the reason is that, with panels, you either kind of love them or you don't. You either kind of, want to work with panels or you don't. There isn't a whole lot of in between. And we want to make sure that people who want to try a panel have opportunity to do so. But it's actually kind of hard to find patterns. There's a ton of patterns out there for panels, but it's hard to find patterns that are exactly right for that exact panel. In part because the size matters, right? The size of the panel matters. So this is actually a panel that is a project in and of itself. So you wouldn't necessarily put this in a whole big quilt all by itself as is. So this is actually a Nativity panel from Dear Stella. It's very cute. And the project that is on the panel is an Advent calendar project. So basically, in the instructions, you would take the panel and you would fold the numbers up. You would fold the numbers up until they made like little pockets like this. So until they made, like pockets like this. And then you would stitch along the bottom of the pocket as well as the up the in between the numbers on the navy blue part in between the numbers. And the reason you would do that is to make little pockets out of each of the numbers, and then you could put treats in the pockets for the Advent, so that every day of the Advent there could be something that you could pull out a treat or a gift. Now, the thing about something like this is it's really specific to the season, number one, but it's also really specific to kind of how people live or how people want to celebrate the season. But the panel doesn't have to be. So just because it comes with a project that's like prescribed, we could actually use this panel in a completely different way. So I'm going to do some improvisation with this panel, and I'm going to show a completely different way to use it. Obviously, we sell the panel, we sell the kits to make a whole project out of the panel. You can just make the Advent calendar out of the panel without putting anything around it. And maybe, you could quilt it, you could hang it, you could do, all kinds of simple things with it. The panel itself, I think, is like $8, and it comes with instructions already on the side. I mean, it's really straightforward, but what I did was I pulled a few fabrics that, that we got to go along with this panel. One is this beautiful kind of like wood grain, kind of barnwood fabric. We've got this star fabric that goes along with the backgrounds. And then we've got Moonscape, which is one of my favorite blenders that we carry. It's a fantastic blender line from Dear Stella, which is the same company that made the panel. And I'm going to improv something for you. So I'm actually I drew a couple of things up, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I am going to cut the top of the panel off from the numbers. I will use the numbers. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them yet. But I'm going to cut the top of the panel off. We're not going to make an Advent calendar. I'm not going to make the project that was prescribed. Instead, I'm going to use some yardage, use some techniques that we've talked about in the past, and make an improvisational project using this panel as the center of it, just the kind of top pictorial part. So follow along. This is going to be a series, I think, of videos, because I want to do the whole thing. And I want to kind of decide what to do here for second and third. So let's figure out our first step. I'm going to cut the top of this panel off nice and neat. And then let's figure out our first step to do with that panel. And we'll start our improv.